Hi, I'm Scott Flowers with Cloud Ninjas. Today we're here to continue our series on the Dell PowerEdge R720xd Server. In this video we're going to specifically focus on RAID. Let's get going. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by today to learn a little bit more about the Dell PowerEdge R720xd Server. Do us a favor, if you find anything in this video useful, click that like and smash that subscribe. All right, well, let's just hop into it. This video is going to be specifically focused on RAID. We're going to show you the different types of RAID. We're going to show you a nice little graph that's going to compare the different types as far as the RAID levels, if it has cache, if it's a hardware RAID or software RAID, the PCIe version. Then we're going to show you how to physically install them, both the mini mono and the PCIe version. And then at the end, we're actually going to configure RAID, and we're going to show you how to configure RAID 5, which with an H310, and it's basically the same steps if you want to do RAID 6 or some different RAIDs as well. But this will be general, just how to configure it at the end. Okay, well, let's hop in. All right, so now we're going to go over the different types of RAID, and you will notice that I've grabbed my ESD gloves. Whenever you're dealing with hardware, I always recommend being as ESD compliant as you can. One day we actually should do a video and just show everyone our lab here. It's a pretty awesome setup. Everything is ESD decked out because it is very important to us to make sure the quality we send out is top notch. So anyhow, let's hop into the different types of RAID. So first off, not featured here is the S110. That is an onboard software RAID that offers RAID levels of 0, 1, 5, and 10. There's no cache, of course, because it is a software RAID, and the drive speeds are 3 gigabit per SATA and 6 gigabit per SAS. The PCIe gen is 2.0, and of course it is a software RAID as we stated. So the next one, which is the first one featured right here, is the H310, and that's our first hardware RAID that we're going to go over, and that is a mini mono. And actually, before we get too far into it, the three up here that you see, these are all mini monos, which is my personal favorite, and this down here is going to be your PCIe version, and technically there is all three that you see up here, there's a PCIe version of it as well, but I'm a big fan of the mini monos. The reason being is that there's a carved out section in the motherboard specifically for these, and I like to save my PCIe slots for other things. Now, the XD does have a lot of PCIe slots as a whole, so it's not as big a deal, but with some of the other systems, like say an R620, I want to preserve my PCIe slots for different uses than the RAID controller. That's just my personal preference, but again, to each their own. The PCIe is also a great way to go about it. So anyhow, so the H310 is a mini mono. RAID levels are 0, 1, 5, 10, and 50. There is no cache. It is a 3 gigabit SATA, 6 gigabit SAS, PCIe 2.0, and it is a hardware RAID. And I will again say, because I did say it was a mini mono, you can get a mini mono or you can get a PCIe version of the H310. The next is the H710. The H710 is a mini, this one that you see is a mini mono, and again, you can get a PCIe version as well, and that's going to be 0, 1, 5, 6, 10, 50, and 60. So you'll notice we get a 6 and 60 added into the different RAID levels. This is the first hardware one that has cache. It's 512 megabyte. It's 3 gigabit SATA, 6 gigabit SAS, PCIe 2.0, and it is a hardware RAID, of course. The next on the hardware RAID is the H710P. It's going to be the same RAID levels, 0, 1, 5, 6, 10, 50, and 60. The main difference is the cache has gone up to 1 gigabyte. It's going to be 3 gigabit SATA, 6 gigabit SAS, PCIe 2.0, and a hardware RAID, of course. The next is the H810. With the H810, this is the only way you can get it is a PCIe version. There is no mini mono. It is the same RAID level, 0, 1, 5, 6, 10, 50, and 60. It is also 1 gigabyte of cache. It is 3 gigabit SATA, 6 gigabit SAS, PCIe 2.0, and it is hardware RAID as well. So these are your different options. Again, I'm personally partial to the mini mono, but again, they're both great solutions, and what we're going to end up doing is installing the H310 and the H810, and then we'll remove the H810, and then we'll go ahead and do we'll go ahead and configure this to RAID 5, which is great for storage. Let's hop in. Alright, so we're going to install the H310 Mini Mono and the H810 PCIe version. So simple, just make sure your latch is set to unlock. Lift the top up, pretty much like any system you've been in before. We're going to remove the air baffle. And then we are going to take out riser 1 over here. Okay, so this will just pop straight up. and now we have a good, clear, easy space to work right here to install the mini mono. Okay, so the mini mono, you will notice on the bottom has a connector right here. This connector is going to go in over here, and there's also these two blue pegs that are sticking up where these holes will go into. I will note, even though this one is fine, these blue pieces break all the time. It's not a huge deal, so if you have one at home that's missing, honestly, it's really not a big deal. So just note that happens. It's pretty common. They're old, they're super brittle, they break. So anyhow, so the way you want to make sure that this is in is you're going to take this PCB board and you're going to slide it in, for lack of a better term, there's kind of like a little cubby hole where these two black pieces kind of stick over, and this black piece right here kind of sticks over. So you're going to want to slide your PCB in over here, and then you're going to take this and kind of almost like a hinge come straight down, and when you come down, it will hook on these two blue little pegs that are sticking out, and then you're going to take these where the two blue dots are, you're going to push this down, and you're going to feel it like physically go in, and now it's locked into place and you are set. And again, if this blue piece is broken, don't worry about it. As long as you push this down, it's going to be completely fine. And that is simply how you would install your mini mono. Okay, so now next what we're going to do is install the H810, which is the PCIe version. Okay, so with the H810, you need to check and see which profile you have. What we have here is the high profile, so we're going to need to come to this side over here as opposed to right here, which is where you would install the low profile. Okay. Alright, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and install it over here on Riser 3, just because honestly it's going to be easier. There's a lot of space. It's easy just to get in and out. You can install it over here on Riser 2 as well, because both of these sides right here are high profile. I will note, even though we do cover this in our different chassis video, there are 3 low profile and 3 high profile, 2 here and 1 here. So depending on your bracket, honestly, you should be fine because there's so many options here. So, all right, so you're going to take this blue tab, you're going to lift this up, you're going to take out the current bracket that's in here just to keep out debris and keep good airflow. All right, and we're going to go ahead and take this piece and we're going to line it up down here, and at the same time put all of our leads in. Okay, so let's go ahead and get everything lined up properly here. Slide this in down here. All right. And you'll feel it click in over here, and then you're going to take your blue clip to lock this into place, and we're going to go ahead and push this down. And it is honestly just that simple. It takes just a couple of moments. I'm going to make sure everything's in nice and snug, and we're good to go. So that's how you would install your PCIe version. Again, just make sure you check out which bracket, put it in the right riser, and outside that it's pretty simple. So now we're going to go ahead and configure RAID 5 using our H310.
Hey guys, this is Ben with Cloud Ninjas, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up RAID 5 on your server. RAID 5 is going to require a minimum of 3 drives, but you're not limited to 3 drives. If you want to use more than 3 drives, you're more than welcome to. For this video specifically, we're going to go ahead and use 3 drives. The other thing I want to bring up is that it is recommended that your drives be the same capacity. This isn't required, but having different capacities can result in space that you're unable to use. So the first thing we want to do is boot up our server. And during post, you want to wait for a message to pop up on the screen. You see right here where it says Control R. We want to press Control R, and this will bring us to the disk management utility. So once we're in here, you can see that it shows our RAID controller, the PERC H310 Mini, and it says that no configuration is present. So we want to go ahead and create a RAID configuration. So the first thing we want to do is we want to scroll up and select that H310 Mini, and you want to press F2 on it, and that'll bring up this menu right here. You want to scroll to the bottom of that menu and click Convert to RAID Capable. On here, it'll show our 3 drives that we have installed, so we want to go ahead and select those 3 drives. And after we do that, click OK. Now we can see that our drives have appeared underneath. We want to go ahead and scroll up to where it says no configuration present and press F2 again. It'll bring up this menu right here, and we want to click Create New VD, which stands for Virtual Disk. Once we do that, we'll be faced with this menu right here, where we can select the RAID level. So we're going to do RAID 5. And then here we want to select all 3 of our drives. Like I said, if we don't have a minimum of 3 drives, RAID 5 will not work. And we can give this a name. So I'm just going to do something simple like RAID 5 array, but this can be whatever you want it to be. And then after we do that, we can go ahead and click on OK. And then we want to click OK again. And now what we want to do is that we want to initialize our RAID 5 array. So we press F2 on our array. It'll bring up this menu right here. We want to click on initialization and then fast init. And then we just want to select yes. Do note that this will destroy the data that's on those disks, so make sure that the disk you're using does not have any valuable data on it, or if it does have data, just make sure that's data you don't mind losing. Anyways, that's how you set up a RAID 5 array onto your server. As you can see, it's not too bad. It's fairly simple, and if you just follow the steps that I showed you in this video, you'll have no problem doing it. And these steps apply to other RAID levels. As you saw earlier, you could see that you could select RAID 0 and RAID 1. These are going to have different disk requirements, so if you are interested in setting up a different RAID level, I do recommend that you do research the benefits to the RAID level that you are interested in possibly using, and also the best use cases for those RAID levels. If you found anything in this video useful today, go ahead and click that like and smash the subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. And if you're interested in purchasing a custom-built server, we have plenty of servers in stock, so go ahead and email us at sales@cloudninjas.com. That's sales@cloudninjas.com. Thank you for stopping by.